Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to another episode of Bottom of the Stream with Adam and Nick. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back. This is the place where you can get up to date with all the latest news and events in the world of streaming and movies.
Certainly is.
How are you, Adam?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I am excellent.
Yeah?
I'm a bit... I feel a bit full. Do you know,
full?
like, yeah, I feel like I ate my dinner too quickly before I came over.
Oh, you've eaten dinner before you come round?
Yeah,
because that's an after record.
It is, but then my wife has also got she's got some like training to do. And we're like, let's try and do
Just
it.
do it before.
And I kind of regretting that decision, to be honest.
I'm a little bit jealous because I'm starving and I'm not eating yet. We've got 2 hours of
I
it.
kind of just, probably just attacked it too fast and
Yeah, fair.
yeah.
Have anything nice?
No, not really. This is like a jar curry.
Nice.
So
Well, it could be worse.
yeah. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
I think I've solved my neck issue.
Good, that's always
That's
good to hear.
Yeah. A bit better than last week.
Did you like employ any voodoo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, voodoo. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
did.
that's what I thought it would be.
I made a doll of myself.
Or any old wives' tales.
I'm not quite sure what did do it because I did buy a new pillow.
Yeah.
But then I went to London for the day last Saturday.
Yes.
And it seemed to ease off as I was walking around because I don't know if it was because I was looking around a lot and moving my head
maybe.
a lot, and it seemed to ease off during the day. And then the next day was that night was the first night I slept on the pillow.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's a combination of the two, but it's been
Good
fine.
God, if
ever
that
since.
pillow's that good.
It's really good. It's very comfortable as well. To be fair, I'll show you it later.
Okay.
It's not like a normal shape. It's a funky shape.
Best invite I've had.
It's got a dip in the middle and everything.
Yeah.
It's well cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that seems to have solved.
Yeah.
For now, touch wood.
I got drenched last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How?
So we bought a new paddling pool.
Yes.
But it's bigger
Right.
than
Okay.
like your standard paddling pool. It's like an extra third long.
Okay.
And which was great. The weekend was boiling
It
hot.
was, yeah, lovely weekend.
Fantastic to have a paddling pool out. And then got to last night, Wednesday night. It's been like 4 or 5 days. Probably need to empty that.
Yeah.
And,
Kills the grass and everything.
Yeah. And man, there was a lot of water in it. And then when I got enough water out of it, I was like, I'm just going to flip this over. Just got drenched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you fell in it or something.
No, my shoes, socks,
Oh, no.
legs, shorts. Yeah. It's fun though. Anyway.
It's fun while it lasts.
Hopefully it won't be the last time it comes out.
Hopefully not, no. We are
Summer.
still only in May.
But who knows? Yeah,
never
so
do
that
know.
was fun. So I'm just glad no one filmed it because I don't think I would have come out of it well.
You've not got a camera in your new backyard.
No.
You need to get a camera. So that would have been funny to see.
Yeah, it would. My dad's got one recently, and he just
What, a paddling pool?
a camera, and it's just they wake up every morning. It's full of just badgers and foxes coming to the
See,
door.
that's
and,
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, your dad does live in like Farthing Wood. So
winding up the cats and stuff. So,
that'd be cool to see, though.
yeah, I guess so.
I don't get any wildlife in my garden. It's
No?
like a wildlife-free zone.
Okay. You get birds?
Not very often.
No.
Not very
No.
many.
Okay.
I get like the odd pigeon or the odd magpie, but nothing like...
Magpie.
Magpie. Nothing like spectacular.
Okay.
I once one winter put, like you get those bird feeders out.
Yeah.
I put a couple of them out one winter and they never got touched
Really?
the whole winter.
Really.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's weird.
We get bit. We get squirrels running along the back.
I do get squirrels occasionally. I don't mind the odd squirrel.
Some massive pigeons that live around.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Pigeons do my head in.
Rats with wings.
We know my feelings on birds.
Well, true. Yeah. Anything else exciting?
No, I went to London, but I'll tell you more about that later on.
Okay, fine.
Because I will talk to you about what I watched when I was
Nice.
there.
Did you see any celebrities?
Celebrities, no.
No.
Don't think so. I went to Camden.
Yeah.
Camden's great. I love Camden. Just wandering around Camden is just cool.
Yeah.
It feels like you're in like a bit of a throwback world.
Yes.
Doesn't feel
it is
like-
a bit, yeah.
You know when you go to like Vegas, it feels like you're in a theme park.
Uh-huh.
That's what Camden feels like to me. It does. And now they've closed.
Hipster theme
They've
park.
pedestrianised the high street as well now.
Oh,
So
I've not
it's
been
like-
since then.
It just
I've
feels like
probably
that was the
not
first
been
time
for-
I'd been when it was like that, and it just feels like you're just walking around like a theme park now
Yeah.
of like 1960s London. That's cool.
Like you're expecting Austin Powers to pop out from the side.
Yeah,
of the street
yeah,
or
exactly that. It feels exactly like that. So it's cool. So it's a lot less busy now because obviously there's a lot more room for people to move
Yeah.
around in. So yeah, it was cool.
something. Oh, that's cool.
I brought a donut.
I'm in London in a couple of weeks, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
might pop over there. Yeah.
Do it. Pop over. We went to this donut stall in Camden Market.
Yeah.
And they were £4.50 each.
Okay.
Or 3 for a tenner.
Right. Okay.
So, and there was only 2 of us there.
Yeah.
So he was like, you might as well have the third one. It's a quid.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. This donut, I put the picture in the Discord, was this big. It was as big as my head. It was a jam filled with jam, glazed, and then jam on the top.
Wow, that's jammy.
I ate about a quarter of it. We ended up throwing 2 of these donuts away out of the 3. It was mental.
Just shared one donut. There you go.
Well, I thought I'll find some like homeless person.
Yeah.
There's no homeless people in London anymore. Where are they all? Where have they all gone? But I couldn't find anybody to give it to. And then we got to the theatre. You're not allowed to take food in, so I had to chuck it away. Not that I could not have finished that donut. It was like, there must have been a whole jar of jam in that donut.
Yeah, you just took a donut and a half on a tour around London.
Basically, yeah, carried it around in a greasy bag all day, then chucked it away.
I'm sure he had a great time.
I'm sure he did.
So, shall we do a question of the week?
Yes.
Should we do a film-based
Oh,
question of the week?
why not?
Because we are a film and TV show podcast.
Basically,
but
yeah.
usually our questions of the week is not necessarily to do with
yeah.
movies.
That's
but,
just as general waffling.
What is the worst film
Yeah.
that you would defend in public?
Oh, that's a good question for me because there's a lot.
Doesn't have to be a bottom of the stream movie.
No.
But there's plenty on there that I'm sure you could choose if you wanted to.
I think probably Sharknado.
Okay.
I've said it many times. Sharknado's in my top 10 of all time. Genuinely is. But when people hear it, people just don't take it seriously, and it's a great film. If we're going more mainstream, though,
I think Sharknado was pretty well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it burned hot for I was going to say a short while, but there was about 8 of them.
Yeah, there is like
but
7, 8, something like that. There is
maybe 1 to 3 were the peak.
Yeah, I think so.
Peak Nado.
Yeah, because then they just started to get like celebrity cameos into it. I think Jedward are in one of them. It's a tough one though. If you're trying to think a bit more mainstream, I'm terrible at thinking like on my feet at this sort of thing. I really like The Shape of Water when that came out, but I don't think that went overly well with the public.
I think it's a Marmite film, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I really enjoyed that. I'd defend that. Because it won the Oscar that year, and everybody was like, it's the worst film to ever win the Oscar.
It's definitely a Marmite film.
Yeah. Don't know. Let me give it some thought, and I'll maybe interrupt you later on. Have you got one?
I've got one from this show.
Okay.
That always springs to mind. That I think I'm quite aware that this is a terrible film, and I have anyone who tells me it's one of the worst films I've ever seen. Absolutely.
I think I know which one
I'm
you're going to say.
absolutely fine with that. But I had such a good time watching it. I will defend Hangman.
Yeah, great one. That's not the one I thought you were going to say.
I will defend that one in public. I would be happy to. It's Al Pacino, Carl Urban, and it's rubbish.
It's rubbish.
It makes no sense, but they're in it, and it's like so fun. And that's the sort of film that popped into my mind when I was thinking. It's
a good shout.
What did you think I was going to say?
The one that me and you we both agree is we enjoyed, and nobody everybody else thought was shite on this show was SPF 18.
Oh yeah.
Me and you have gone into bat for that film a few times.
That, yeah.
I'd defend that all day.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that film. But nobody else in the Discord or anything. We defend that. We have to defend that film quite a lot. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's like we've done loads of films on this show now.
Sure.
And there's most of them I wouldn't defend.
Yeah.
But there are a few that I feel like, I'd go into bat for that.
Yeah. Just because it's stupid and fun.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure if you go into like the mainstream world, you wouldn't get many people watch Animal World.
No, but that's
genuinely a good film.
Yeah.
But I think if I went to work and said, "Oh, you should go and watch this film about these alien monsters playing,"
that's more like rock, paper, scissors. I think people would go with that. It's persuading them to press play on it with that one.
Yeah.
But once they're in, I think you're in.
Yeah.
People love it. But I suppose with something like Hangman, I can picture me going, no. People go, that's awful. How can you like that? And it's like, but
you did it with Bond Cop, Bad Cop as well. So I don't like that anywhere near as much as you do.
Yeah, great film.
I think I defend the Saw franchise. I mean, people like the first one, but then kind of dismiss the rest of them.
They do, yeah, very much.
But I think all 7 of those films are great.
Yeah.
Like the original 7
films.
I think they're all great. And the whole story ties up perfectly all together into all of them. So defend that franchise. But I think Sharknado is my answer. I think people will just dismiss that as a stupid film.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's a wonderful film.
People definitely will.
And they do regularly. Good question, that. I like that. Let us know in the Discord what films you're going to bat
100%. For. Cool. Let's do some news. And we have got a whole slew of Netflix news this week.
Excellent.
Because Netflix have done their sort of version of when the TV stations, networks used to do their upfronts.
Yeah.
This is what's coming over the next months, years.
We've got Tudum coming up pretty soon as well, haven't we? That's this month?
Yeah, Tudum, which will probably showcase more actual footage.
Yes, yeah.
But this is more sort of we've commissioned this series, we've not commissioned this, etc., etc., etc. So we will kick off with that in just a second. But Netflix opened their upfronts, which they held in New York, with some news on their ad tier, because they love telling us how successful Netflix with ads has been. And they've released their first quarterly report on the numbers there. And since since last November, the number of subscribers in the Netflix ad tier has increased 34%.
Wow. Jeez.
34%. And that tier now has 94 million subscribers.
Success.
Definitely.
100%.
Absolutely. And Netflix said that they're only at the start of what they're trying to do with ads. And I think Amazon are also doing something similar. They are looking to launch to, again, random users. You will start to see this through the next few months. Adverts when you pause your show, probably for other Netflix stuff. So you pause your show, it will transition into a
just like a blank, like a 2D image.
Don't forget to watch Wednesday or something.
The future, I think Channel 4's streaming service does that. You pause and advert comes on. If I remember rightly.
Right.
That's cool.
And they plan to double their advertising revenue through this year.
Okay.
By reaching out and, I suppose they can do that now. They've got 94 million subscribers. It makes it an easier sell.
Definitely.
So, yes, contextual pause ads.
Contextual pause ads.
I
don't mind ads if they're not in my way. If I'm pausing something, it's because I'm leaving the room or something, or I'm talking to somebody. It doesn't matter then. There's an ad on the screen to me. Yeah. If they're not like interrupting my experience, I'm not bothered.
Exactly. So we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know if you're one of those people who's lucky enough to start getting some of that. I think that's what we'll say.
Yes, why not?
Okay, so like I say, a ton of Netflix news on what's coming in the sort of foreseeable future. And the first announcement is that Dan Levy is to write, produce, star, create, all those things in his first TV series since Schitt's Creek.
Okay, that's exciting.
For Netflix, which he will star alongside Taylor Ortega and Laurie Metcalf, an 8-episode crime comedy which goes into production later this year.
Nice.
An as yet untitled series which will follow two deeply incapable siblings who are blackmailed into the world of organised crime.
Incapable siblings is kind of his niche, isn't it?
Yes. Netflix notes that this is Levy's second original scripted series. Obviously, the first being the little show that could, Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek's such a good show.
So good.
So good.
Yeah. I've watched it. We've watched it a couple of
times. I've never watched it all the way through again. I've watched the odd episode here and there, but I've never done a full rewatch.
Good. Well, you'll have another option in the Levy filmography. So
excellent. I love that Levy.
Netflix has also announced that they are to bring back a reboot of the US talent show from the 80s and 90s, Star Search.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
The original ran from 1983 till 1995 in the States.
Long time.
And was the launching pad for such celebrities as Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Destiny's Child, Justin Timberlake, LeAnn Rimes, and Usher.
I did not know any of that. Interesting. I didn't know they all came from that sort of
Netflix
world.
Announced this week at the Upfronts they are developing a live version of this. This time around, Netflix says, the talent is bigger, the stakes are higher, and the format is more interactive than ever. Each week on Star Search, emerging performers in music, dance, comedy, and kids acts will take to the stage to compete for a shot at the spotlight. The competition will unfold over time with eliminations raising the stakes and plenty of surprises along the way.
Okay.
No host, judges, or premiere date announced, but the casting call has gone out.
Okay.
And
that's America's Got Talent.
It is. It is. Of course it is. But I guess this is Netflix's first go at doing that in inverted commas live.
Yeah.
As in a weekly, because we've had like dancing competitions and stuff like that, but all pre-recorded stuff that's... I wonder if this is going to have a voting element as well.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It says interactive, doesn't it? So it sounds like it.
Which is definitely something they've not done.
Yeah, definitely not.
So, in a way, it's surprising they've took so long to get on that train.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's never even crossed my mind that they could do that. But when you think about why they haven't, it's quite crazy.
But it is imminent.
Sweet.
I think they'd be pretty happy if they could uncover some stars to that level.
Yeah.
Imagine them finding their next old Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. Netflix also announced that a show which has only been out for 2 weeks has been renewed for a second series.
Okay.
That is The Four Seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the Steve Carell show.
It is. It's been renewed for season 2, which will consist of 8 episodes, same as season 1.
Okay.
Only premiered on the 1st of May.
Yeah, it was really recent.
Yeah. Chief Content Officer Bella Baharaya said, "We are so grateful that our audiences worldwide share our love of cozy sweaters, drinks by the ocean, and picking fights in a hot tub. We'll see you on the next vacation." Tina Fey is behind this, is also in it. Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Steve Carell.
Cool. Have you watched any of it?
I haven't. It's quite high on our list. And actually, I'll talk about what I have watched this week. Okay. And it was literally down to, should we start this or should we start something else? And we went with the other thing.
Right.
But a few people on our Discord have said they've watched this.
Yeah.
And were surprised how much they enjoyed it.
Okay.
So, we'll get to it. Sweet. You're a big fan. Well, you like 30 Rock, didn't you? Obviously, Tina Fey's most, I guess, most iconic show.
Yeah, it hasn't crossed my mind to watch it, but I think I probably will at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not watching any TV at the minute.
Okay.
There's literally no TV shows jumping out at me to watch, so I'm not watching any. So I have got room for one.
Maybe that will be it.
Maybe.
Who knows? Also renewed by Netflix for 2 more seasons.
Okay.
Is Bridgerton.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that surprises me.
They have confirmed. Well, there's only been 3 seasons. They have confirmed season 4 is well underway in production and will be screened in 2026.
Okay.
They have also renewed it for a season 5 and a season 6.
Okay. Wow.
So
I thought they'd lean in
years.
I'm not surprised that Bridgerton's been renewed. I thought they'd lean more into like the spin-offs of it rather than renewing the main.
There are 8 books.
Oh, there. Okay.
On a sibling each. Right. So fair play if they're gonna
do all 8 of them.
Yeah, get through them all. Because that's a long time. By the time you finish these things, that's gonna be a long time after the first season.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, but that'll be 6 out of 8. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, and it's
by the time you've done 6, you might as well do 8.
Yeah, and it's a behemoth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. It's huge.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Just keep going. People will watch it.
And it's got a lot of I hate that. What was that whole term? Shoulder programming and experiences. They love like the Bridgerton live experience, don't they? And then Netflix pop-ups and things like that.
Shoulder programming.
Yeah. Also announced at the Upfronts was that very busy man Sean Levy, who does most stuff with Ryan Reynolds. I think he's doing a Star War.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's involved with Stranger Things.
Yeah. No relation to Dan Levy?
No. He is working with Madonna.
Okay.
On developing a limited series about her life.
Okay.
So like a biopic, but in TV series form.
Right.
In which she will be involved in the project.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, it was announced that a movie was being worked on.
Yes, it was.
But this is apparently now not the case, and Netflix have sort of nipped in and gone, let's do a TV series. Does anyone fancy that?
Makes sense. I suppose she's been around for a long time. There's a lot of story to tell.
Yeah, she's involved, and 21 Laps, who is Sean Levy's production company, are taking this project on.
Okay.
I mean, she's done a... I was going to say she's been through a lot. I realised you could probably take that in a couple of different ways.
And you wouldn't be wrong in either.
But...
yeah, she's been around for a long time. She's done a lot
My
of stuff.
perception is like she just want to be in it.
Yeah.
But she's lived a life, hasn't she?
She has.
That could be...
more than a 90-minute biopic, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess so. 10 hours of Madonna.
Yeah.
That would be doable.
Yeah, of course it would. People would watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be a big hit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree. What would you call it?
I don't know.
Madge.
Yeah, our Madge.
Our Madge. Material Girl, surely.
That's just exactly what I was going to say. It would have to be, surely.
That sounds like the name of a limited series.
Yeah, I think so. I guess a kind of sort of a roundup on some other series Netflix confirmed are now in production at the Upfronts. All the Sinners Bleed.
Great title.
It's a good title, isn't it?
I like that.
Will be a 9-episode limited series adaptation of S.A. Cosby's thriller novel of the same name. The synopsis for which is: haunted by his past in the FBI and his devout mother's untimely death, the first black sheriff in a small Bible Belt county must lead the hunt for a serial killer that has quietly been preying on black communities in Southern Virginia for years in the name of God.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound good, doesn't it?
I like the sound of that.
Joe Robert Cole will be the showrunner for this. He co-wrote Black Panther, and he will also direct the first and several other episodes. Executive producers, Amblin Television, working with Netflix.
Okay.
That does, yeah.
Just
as a synopsis, that sounds awesome.
It does. Great title as well.
The Body is another show coming to Netflix. A coming-of-age drama created by Quinn Shepherd. The synopsis for which is: after a dance team initiation gone wrong, a group of badly behaved Catholic schoolgirls begin having prophetic visions that set off mass hysteria in the town.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
When you said The Body and a coming-of-age drama, I was like, is this going to be a Stand By Me remake? Because that's the name of the novel.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah, so there's plenty of little sort of nuggets of news like this week. Fernando Meirelles, he's on board to direct Here Comes the Flood.
Okay.
For Netflix. A bank heist movie starring Denzel Washington.
Okay.
He likes a heist movie.
He does, yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
And
name.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Wow. Big cast.
Yeah. The film will focus on a bank guard who plots a robbery with a master thief and also has a relationship with a bank teller. A series of twists eventually reveals a long con game at the centre of the story. Apparently, according to Screen Daily, this has been in development at Netflix for a number of years and is finally getting off the ground.
Okay.
Also announced at the Upfronts was Netflix have commissioned Fight for 84.
Right.
A sports biopic based on the true story of the 1984 US Boxing Olympics team, with Jamie Foxx starring as the new coach brought in to rebuild the team after a tragic plane crash.
Okay.
Sounds
great. Yeah, it does sound awardsy.
Yeah.
Cool, that'd be good. I like Jamie Foxx.
People say Netflix don't do anything.
Yeah. It's rubbish, isn't it?
You list it all out like this. It's quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
And finally, from the upfronts, if you're into your NFL,
yep,
there's no shortage of stuff coming this year and into next year. So on the field, Netflix announced the 2 Christmas Day games for 2025 in their now annual tradition. So Christmas Day 2025, you can watch 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Dallas Cowboys play the Washington Commanders.
Right.
And then at 4:30 the same day, the Detroit Lions will face off against the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Netflix is also greenlit Primetime, a documentary series about Deion Sanders, famed NFL coach and former pro football and baseball player. That will premiere in 2026.
Okay.
Primetime will discuss Sanders' 1997 suicide attempt and relationship with his biological father while exploring his evolution from a 2-sport phenom to a culture-defining coach and media personality.
Nice, 2-sport phenom.
And if that wasn't enough, Netflix has announced that in August 2025, a documentary series, America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, will focus on the Dallas Cowboys and their owner and general manager, Jerry Jones.
Nice. Lots of NFL stuff coming.
Yes. The aforementioned Bella Bahara said, our audience expect us to have the best of everything. We're always looking for ways to surprise and delight our members. So when we have the opportunity to take big, bold swings and get the NFL on Christmas Day or a surprise boxing match, we are going to move quickly and make it happen.
Sweet. Bella Bahara's coming up a lot. You've been saying her name a lot the last few weeks.
Yeah. 65 million US viewers last year's Christmas.
That's a lot.
NFL games on Netflix.
That's a lot of US viewers.
It is, isn't it?
For a Christmas Day, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, that's all the Netflix news. And then I wanted to talk about this because it's just, I know it's something close to our hearts.
Okay.
Eli Craig, director of 2010 cult classic Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Great film.
Has been talking to Slash Film.
Okay.
And he said that over the years, he's been made many attempts to develop, film, produce a sequel.
Okay.
Or a TV version.
Yep.
But for various reasons, it's never quite got off the ground. He said to Slash Film, honestly, Tucker and Dale 2 has died more deaths than the college kids in the movie. We've had so many versions that have almost got off the ground, but for one reason or another have gotten killed. It does set us back that people can't look at the box office, the actual box office of the movie. And he did say that they were this close to getting a TV show off the ground with TNT. All ready to go, about to go into production for the whole series. And David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers, TNT, TBS, just saw it on the list and went, nah.
Why?
Not doing it.
It's such a good idea as well. It'd be such a great TV show. It works so well.
Well, Craig said, he came in, put the nail in the coffin for Tucker and Dale just as we were about to go to series. He just cancelled all production. He went on to explain the plot of the potential spin-off series that would have followed Tucker and Dale as detectives. Detective Tucker and Dale stupidly trying to figure out what's happening in a world where they're always getting it wrong and people are dying around them.
It'd be amazing. It would be amazing. What a shame. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is so good.
So yeah, tick that one in the never gonna happen column.
What a shame.
Great movie.
If you've never seen it, definitely go and see it. I assume it's on Amazon or something.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. And then finally.
All right, Ken Brockman.
This might be niche, but it's our niche.
Okay.
And I want to spend some time talking about it. I don't even know if you're aware of this.
Okay.
Because we've not spoken about it off show.
Tucker and Dale doesn't stream anywhere for free.
Really?
You can buy it on Amazon or Apple, but it isn't on any free streaming service.
Cult classic.
That's crazy.
We've not talked about this off show, so there might be some discussion to be had. This week, the BBC has released the 19 names who will be taking part in the first ever series of the Celebrity Traitors.
I've seen this. I'm excited. Very excited.
Yeah. Should we have a look at the names?
Let's look at the names.
Maybe we can pull out some early picks for
yeah, definitely
potential winners or fodder. A couple of them had been rumoured for a while. These are in no particular order. I'll just go down this list.
Yeah.
Claire Balding.
Big name.
Sports broadcaster.
I think we'll find that most of these names are quite big names in there.
I mean, she comes across like quite a clever...
Yeah, I think she'd be quite clever.
Posho. Like, potential as a traitor. Potential
as a traitor.
We'll do that for all of these.
Okay,
Could you see him as a... I think she'd have it in her.
I see Claire Balding as a faithful that everybody thinks is a traitor, though.
Yes. Yeah.
That's I think how I'd play it.
There's a couple in there, and you think, having seen a few seasons of The Traitors, you'd be like, that's a name that could be on the chopping block early because she's a bit out there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lucy Beaumont. Comedian.
Yeah.
Now, she is interesting because she's got this whole persona.
Yeah, is it a character? Or...
And everyone, the whole thing about her whole career is like, is she really like that?
Yeah.
So is she going to go in as that?
She's gonna have to go in as that.
Yeah.
Whether she is... I would have her as a traitor, I think. Because I don't think anybody would look at her in that ditzy
role. Everyone will just be like, oh.
But then when she's in the turret, she can be just like this scheming, conniving. That'd be a good one.
There's a few actors in here, which is interesting. Yeah. With the whole, point of the show. Mark Bonner, who I'm not too familiar with. I kind of recognise his face. A Scottish actor. Mostly TV shows.
Yeah.
Like Catastrophe.
I know who he is. I don't know much about him. I know who he is.
Too easy to make an actor a traitor.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think I'd do that.
But then do you double cross? Do you think, is that what the producers are thinking?
Singer-songwriter Kat Burns.
Not aware.
Me neither.
Don't know anything about her.
Alan Carr.
Yeah, this is a
comedian and
one.
Latterly more TV game show host, stuff like that.
I think bad traitor. Bad faithful. Can I say that?
You could see him sticking around though.
Yeah, I could see him sticking around. I don't think anybody would suspect him.
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine him in the breakfast the morning after he's killed somebody being able to not.
No. He seems to me as a sort of heart on his sleeve type guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Charlotte Church.
Yeah. Great traitor, I reckon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could see that.
She's like an every woman, isn't she?
Yeah. I think she'd be good at like scheming.
Yeah, okay. Traitor potential there.
Yeah.
Ruth Codd, Irish actress, who was in The Fall of the House of Usher, amongst other things.
Okay.
Again, I've
seen that.
I just think...
I can't picture who she is, but I've seen that.
I just think...
Actors, yeah.
If you're a faithful, again, when you're looking for excuses at the start of The Traitors, are you going to turn around and go, actor?
Yeah.
Going to be a good traitor?
Yeah. Get rid.
Go.
I think you've got to get rid of actors early.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It brings a whole new side to the game, doesn't it? Because everybody goes into the Traitors doesn't know each other at all, whereas these people are all
have preconceptions about each other,
exactly,
or may even know each other.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be an interesting one. It changes the game completely.
And me and my wife were talking about this the other night, and we both sort of said probably not as excited for this as you maybe should be, because kind of one of the whole selling points for the Traitors for me in the UK version is you don't know any of them.
Yeah.
It's just Joe blogs and
I think
Joanne blogs.
I think I'm looking forward to it, but I think in a different way. I think it's kind of like it'd be interesting to see people that I'm aware of.
Does anyone go crazy?
Play the game, yeah, exactly.
Tom Daly.
Yeah, this was a surprise one.
Was next up.
I think good faithful. I don't know.
Could he?
He's a good faithful though. I think he'd be quite clever weeding people out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could trade.
Tamika Empson is an EastEnders person who's been on EastEnders since 2009.
Okay, don't watch EastEnders.
Me neither.
Don't know who she is.
Again, actress.
Okay.
Paloma Faith.
I don't really know a lot about Paloma Faith either.
She's a quirky singer.
Yeah, I know who she is. I just don't know much about her.
She's always good, and when she used to be on like Nevermind the Buzzcocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Bit out there.
Yeah.
Gonna add a bit of chaos. Would be my
I guess
perception.
so, yeah. I think she'd get on well with Tom Daly, maybe.
Sir Stephen Fry.
That's a
who was
name.
long rumoured.
Yeah, he was
to be part of this.
That's a big name to get for any reality show.
I mean, they're not going to be voting Stephen Fry off first day, are they?
Are they? Can you imagine? The producers would go wild if they did.
I don't think you can make Stephen Fry a traitor.
I don't think you can either. I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be a really good faithful. I think he'd know.
Yeah.
I think he'd be really good at picking people out. But everybody knows Stephen Fry. Everybody in that room is going to know him and who
I
he
just
is
don't
and what
think
he's all about.
If Stephen Fry is a faithful, I don't. Regardless of how he comes across, are everyone else going to be a bit sort of, oh my god, that's Stephen Fry?
Exactly.
We're not voting him out.
That's like
not for a few days.
For any reality show, that's a huge. You can't even imagine Stephen Fry doing like Big Brother or the big ones, like I'm a Celebrity or anything.
His
like that.
check must be pretty sizable to do this.
I mean, he's obviously a big fan of the show.
Yeah,
but that's crazy.
Kate Garraway,
yeah,
TV presenter,
TV host,
morning
yeah.
TV. Yeah, don't really know anything about her.
Don't know much about her.
Beloved actress Celia Imrie.
That's a big name as well.
Yeah. Bridget Jones, Best Exotic, Marigold Hotel.
She's a lot of West End stuff as well, didn't she? Yeah. Actress.
Surely knows Stephen Fry.
Definitely. 100%. I can't imagine the world where they don't know each other.
Joe Marler, rugby dude.
Yeah.
Turned podcast host.
Don't know much about him.
Big, beefy, bearded.
One of my work friends is a huge fan of him and said he's never watched Traitors. He's going to watch this series because he's in it. So
fair dues.
He's drawing people in, at least.
I think this is my person to watch out for. Because
I know you're going to say.
I think this person would be a good faithful, but if was a traitor, I think could absolutely smoke everyone.
Yeah.
And that's Nick Mohammed.
Yeah, great pick. Again, he plays a character quite a lot. He could easily drop in and out of that character if he wanted to in there.
And he's a bit weird.
He's very weird.
Which he could play, but as in a persona. I'm not saying him, but he could confuse a lot of people. Yeah.
But do you just get him out?
Has he got the gamesmanship?
Do you just get him out?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't get in my head who this guy is. He's got to go. That's how I might think about it.
Yeah. David Olusoga, one of Britain's most respected historians.
Okay.
Again, a BBC guy who presents documentaries. I have no idea.
Don't know anything about him. Probably would get on really well with Stephen Fry.
Nico Omelana, content creator and internet prankster with 8 million followers on YouTube.
Wow. That's a lot of YouTubes.
I'm not familiar with that person.
Don't know who he is.
Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross and Stephen Fry definitely know each other, right?
Jonathan 100%. Ross has probably interviewed... There's 19
all of
people.
those people.
He's probably interviewed 15 of these people.
Yeah, probably.
Again, I think... a bit much, though, isn't he?
Yes, Jonathan Ross is really,
I don't think
polarising. I don't think he could trade. I think he'd be... I think he'd be the one I'd want to get rid of pretty much straight away. I don't think I could be in a room.
First time he's been on the BBC since that whole...
Is it really? It's his return.
Russell Brand
thing.
Yeah. 15 years or so ago.
Yeah, more than that, I think. 2008, that was,
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know about Jonathan Ross.
And finally, one more.
Yeah.
Joe Wilkinson.
Awesome. I'm so happy that Joe Wilkinson's in there.
Yeah. Who's done a lot of Traitors content himself.
He has. Do you know the story of Joe Wilkinson and the Traitors?
I do, but tell.
So Joe Wilkinson and David Earl have a podcast, Chatterbix. They got into this whole thing, because I listen to this every it comes out every day almost.
Yeah.
And they got into this whole thing about Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, like the behind the scenes
and how it works.
Set up
and all that. So they invited somebody on who'd been on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
And this guy came on 5 or 6 times over the course of a
got
few
friendly
months,
with him.
Got friendly with him. David Earl suggested to this guy, you should audition for the Traitors. And this guy went, yeah, I will. And then this guy became Paul Gorton, probably the most famous traitor of all time.
It was Series 2.
Series 2. They did a whole thing about it. They've got all these episodes recorded that they were never able to put out. And he's been on their show ever since, or a few times since, and it's great. So for Joe Wilkinson to go in there, it just feels right that he's doing it.
He's going to have...
But also, he's going to be fucking brilliant at it.
He's going to be good anyway.
Yes.
He's good friends with someone who's got really far in this show.
Probably the most famous cast member of all time who didn't win it. I don't think he can trait though.
No, I don't think he. I think he'd be a good faithful.
I think he'd be a great faithful. I think he'd be a terrible traitor.
And he'd be. It feels like he will be popular.
Yes, definitely.
And he could do his research.
Yeah, I think he'd be good at weeding them out.
Yeah.
I love Joe Wilkinson. I'm so happy. I think that cast is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think there's a really good mix of people there. I'm really excited, but I'm really, really happy Joe Wilkinson's going in.
The participants will be competing for up to £100,000 for a charity of their choice. 9-hour-long episodes coming this autumn.
Yeah, so it's a week shorter than the rest of the series, I think, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because I think they're normally 12.
Okay.
That's exciting. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a very different game.
Yeah.
But I think it will be a really good show.
It has to have a slightly different vibe for it because they're paying for charity, but it's not life changing for
some of these people are going to know each other
it,
quite well. Some of them are going to
the
met before. The relationships there. Everybody's got preconceived ideas of each other.
Yeah.
But even if they've never met, they've got now all this time until they go in to get to know who they are. So yeah, I think it changes the game a lot. If you were Claudia, who you're picking as your traitors? Give me.
Well, she usually does that sort of who wants to do it first. So if without us knowing that, I think Mohammed.
Yeah.
I want a wild card.
Nick Mohammed's not your wild card.
No. Paloma Faith. And I'm not sure on the other one. Maybe Charlotte Church.
I think I would go Claire Balding.
Yeah. I was thinking possibly her.
One of the lesser known people. Maybe let's go Joe Marler. Don't know anything about him, but nor does anybody else. And yeah, Nick Mohammed would be great. Let's do those three.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
Awesome.
Autumn time, I think it's been said.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all the news.
Excellent. Well done. Good news. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I am continuing on my Black Mirror watch.
Okay, how's that going?
Good. So I had to move up Bandersnatch.
Yes.
So I did get to watch it before it left Netflix.
Good. You get to finish it all? Go all the way through?
Yeah.
Thoughts overall? I think you were about halfway through last week when we recorded.
Yeah, I think I would have rather just seen... I thought it was a good story. I would have rather just seen it as an episode presented.
I think it was just done as a gimmick at the time.
Yeah.
You see those petitions and everything to get it back.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can remember it, but I
didn't get all of it. I did do all of it, obviously. I don't remember it.
But I got to the end and it gave me the option, go back or go to credits.
Yes.
So then I ended up I saw 3 endings basically.
Yeah.
Because I went back twice. And I liked one of them a lot more than the other 2. And I just think I'd have... It sounds strange, but the choices took away from it for me.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think they interrupted the flow and... I would have... Because I'm doing a little table on how I'm finding them. I would have had this ranked higher if it was presented to me as an episode.
Just as an episode. Okay.
Quite a bit higher. I just found it frustrating.
It's gone now. So, you can never do it again. So.
Well, yes, exactly. So I have got one more episode of season 3 left to watch.
Okay.
So I think that's I've done about, I think it's 13-ish, something like that. So I'm getting there. And then I've started, my wife and I started to watch The White Lotus.
Oh, okay.
Which is a obviously raved about show.
I've always considered whether I should do it or not, and I never have got to it. So I'm intrigued.
It's not what I expected.
Okay.
It's slower and more character based than I expected.
Right.
But we've only watched 2 episodes, and I am intrigued. It looks amazing. It's beautiful. And
you did it from the start, from like season 1.
Yeah.
How many seasons are there? 3?
3.
Maybe I'll get on it as well.
I don't know. It's too early to say.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, I am intrigued.
Yeah, I've always been a bit intrigued by it, but never got to it.
It's quite raunchier than I expected.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Maybe I will watch it.
Something for everyone. That's all I'm saying. yeah, so far so good. I will keep you updated. How about you?
As previously mentioned, I haven't been watching any TV shows just lately. I've kind of fallen away from TV. I just can't. Nothing's grabbing me and going, you should watch this.
Sure.
At the minute, I don't know why. I never even watched the latest series of Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
So I thought about starting that the other day.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I can't be bothered, so I didn't. So
if you do get to it,
yeah,
I think it's the best one since.
I will get to it.
Yeah, I know. It's the best one since the first one.
Cool.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's fine. That's fine because it is probably top of the list of what I'm going to watch. I've decided I am going to do a Black Mirror rewatch because I need to not get this
whole thing from the start.
Yeah, I think so. I need to get the idea of a lost rewatch out of my head because I'm not doing that again. So on Saturday, as I said, I went to London and I watched Book of Mormon on the West
fantastic.
End. Finally, after years of wanting to watch it, I finally got to it. I fucking loved it.
So good, isn't it?
It's so good. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen put to stage.
Like, I know I said to you, like, you'll love how offensive it is, but
it's pretty offensive.
I remember when I went to see it, we had some, like, older people, they were just along from us, literally looking at each other like, but then 15 minutes in, they were just away with it.
I'm pretty sure I was one of the youngest people there. It was like, I was like, this feels like an outing from the Cocoon convention or something. But there was lots of old people there.
Yeah.
But the crowd were going wild for it, and it was so funny. And it's not offensive at the start.
No.
And then there's this
all of a sudden
throwaway line all of a sudden, and you're like, did he just say that? And then it just goes from there, and you're like, wow. Yeah, it's you can tell it's by the guys who wrote South Park. But the soundtrack's banging. Some of the songs are so good. And the two main guys, whoever the two main guys were, I obviously don't know who they were, but they were great, the two leads. Yeah. I thought it was wonderful. It went far too quick.
That's great.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a really good show. If you get a chance to go to the West End, or I presume it's still on Broadway somewhere, go and watch the Book of Mormon because it's very funny. I didn't think the theatre's nice that it's in London, but it's a bit too modern. I like an old theatre. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a theatre when it's an old theatre, but this one's it reopened in 2004, I think, so it's quite modern. So I was like, this is a bit modern for my likings, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool to be in London for the day.
Nice,
beautiful day.
Yeah,
boiling hot in London. And then I got home that night and it was about 9 o'clock. So I was like, I need to stick a film on or something.
Yeah, you need to wind down.
So I decided to put a true crime documentary on.
Lovely.
As you do. And I watched A Deadly American Marriage.
Okay, this is on Netflix.
This is on Netflix. It's charting at the minute. It was at number 1, I think. And it's a very interesting story, but an ongoing story. So the show doesn't really have any conclusion.
Yeah.
So which was a little bit disappointing because it's nearly 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So it's about this woman and this woman calls the police and says her husband's just attacked her and she's killed him. And her dad is also involved. So her and her dad kill this bloke, who's her husband. And everybody's like, he was a lovely guy. Everybody loved him. And and he was brutally murdered as well. It wasn't like, they claim as self-defense. And this guy was, his head was pulverized basically by his dad. Her dad's an ex-FBI agent, and she's like this crazy woman. So the first half is all about that, and they do end up going to prison. They get life in prison, and then this other lawyer gets involved, and he digs up some stuff that wasn't told to the original trial.
Okay,
and then all this stuff comes out about the guy that got murdered and his previous life and who he was, and they eventually got out on appeal, and it's still going through the courts now to get a retrial. Oh, right. So at the minute, these two they did get life imprisonment, but they've been released pending retrial. Okay, so it doesn't really have any conclusion, which was quite frustrating. But this is their lives. Yeah. So I can't really I wish they'd get this over and done with. But it was good. It was a really interesting story, but yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
there's two kids involved, and it's completely destroyed their lives.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Which is a real shame. But
yeah, I saw it's riding high in the charts.
It's right up there in the charts. I think that's it. That's pretty much all I've been watching. Okay. I'm still doing season 2 of Dungeons and Drag Queens. Got an episode and a half left of that now.
Nice.
Probably a little bit less than that. So I need to find something new on Dropout once that's finished. I just watched one of the other.
Have you watched the most recent episode of Game Changer?
Which one was that?
Be Earnest.
Was that the one with...
It's... Ali
Bailey, yes, I did watch it.
Zach Ayami and Lisa Gilroy.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did watch it. It was really great.
It was good.
Yeah,
I would say it's my least...
Not the best one of this series.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. That's a real tough thing to follow because there's been a great start to this series.
Yeah.
Ali Beardsley is one of my favourite people on that on Dropout at all. And Zach on Oyama. He's great as well. Because he's just naturally funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did really enjoy that episode.
Good. Awesome.
I think that's it. I think that's all I've watched. I can't think of anything else. No, just go and watch Book of Mormon. It's great.
Do it.
Right.
Lovely.
Talking of things we've watched, want to talk about what we're watching on Thursday?
Yes.
I think that'll do then. I think we're out of here.
Come back on Thursday to find the world famous Bottom of the Stream movie show podcast, because we are talking about...
It sounds so humble when you say world famous.
About a movie called The Fanatic.
We are indeed.
Which can be found in the UK, at least on Amazon Prime. And this was a wild card choice.
Yes, by your good self.
Yes, my wild card choice for this season. And...
Wild.
I chose this.
Wild is the operative word.
I chose this because I thought it's got John Travolta in it.
It has got John Travolta.
We know that John Travolta's career is certainly one of peaks and troughs. He's currently in a trough,
which he's been in for some time.
And this is John Travolta in a cheap ass stalker movie directed by Fred Durst. This thing exists.
It does exist. Yeah, it's going to be a really fun episode. Can't wait to talk to you about it.
What a film! That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's quite the ride. This
is a movie. This is a movie.
This is a movie that exists. Yeah, it is quite the ride. It's going to be an interesting one to talk about.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to Thursday's episode.
Me too. Not one to be missed. I have a feeling.
No, definitely not. It's a great wildcard pick. I'm very impressed with you.
Okay.
Right. I think that's it. I think we've pretty much done our show.
I should say so.
Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, just come back Thursday.
Come back Thursday. Come back next Monday. Go down to the bottom of this video and do all the things like subscribe, comment, do all that. Tell your mum, tell your nan.
Exactly.
Ding the bell. Nobody knows what the bell does, but ding it anyway. Yeah, do all of that. And then we'll be back next Monday for another episode and next Thursday for another movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.